I've always had a terrible memory. Ever since I was a kid and returning to the village, I mistook this blonde girl, who ran away from home for my own younger sister. That blonde girl suffered from severe anorexia. Even taking a sip of water made her want to gag. If you don't finish your food, don't even think about leaving the table. With tears welling up in her eyes, the blonde girl swallowed a massive piece of braised pork. Just as she was about to reflexively throw it back up, 3 seconds later, I swung my hand and gave her a dazed slap. What was that for? Why is the plate still completely full? Or are you looking down on my cooking? I literally just swallowed it. Aren't you even going to give me time to digest? After that, another strange woman appeared in the village, who also demanded to eat in the exact same way. The blonde girl's survival instincts had already been carved deep into her very marrow. Sis, hurry up and swallow. Big bro slap has some kind of dark magic. As long as you eat fast enough, the anorexia won't be able to catch up to you. I'm a law student candidate grinding like hell. Because I've memorized so many laws, my head hurts. My memory is now basically on par with the goldfish. The shelf life is only a measly 7 seconds. The doctor said this is excessive exam prep syndrome. To put it bluntly, I've studied until I've gone completely senile. On the 20th of the lunar month, I went back to my hometown for New Year's. Just as I stepped off the long-distance bus, I saw a kid at the entrance of the village with the cheap, flashy dyed blonde hair squatting there. Her back looked incredibly pathetic. That physique, that posture, it was exactly like my biological sister, who is currently in her rebellious phase. Without saying a single word, I rushed over and used a grappling move, grabbing the target's neck by fate. Ha ching ching, I told you to get to the village entrance fast to pick me up. But here you are sitting and counting ants. That girl's eyes were as fierce as a little wolf's. How bold, which commoner dares to touch this young lady? Still playing young lady? I think you're just begging for a beating. Dyeing your hair blonde, you trying to be some delinquent queen or what? And wearing that cringe uniform too. What's the plan? You planning to go work at the commune office? Bro, I feel like something is wrong. Wrong how? My biological sister pointed toward the blonde kid. Aren't I the real Ha Ching Ching? Plus the clothes she's wearing, they look like high-end Armani gear. I narrowed my eyes, staring intensely at the kid, who was struggling in my grip. After looking for 3 seconds, my memory was immediately wiped clean. I turned to look at my biological sister with an expression of sharpening, iron into steel frustration. Stop using this clone to cover for yourself. Everyone has a second personality these days. Hurry up and grab the bags and get home. I'm starving. And just like that, under Ha Ching Ching's "you're an idiot" gaze, I hauled this kid back home like a little chick. Once we got home, the first order of business was naturally education through love. This new blonde girl wasn't obedient at all. In the 10 minutes since entering, she tried to escape 3 times, called the police twice, and threatened to bury this entire village with her once. Hey you're going to regret this. My sister is the eldest miss of high society. I am her only younger sister. If you kneel down and apologize right now, I might actually forgive you. I was busy snacking on melon seeds, hearing that I casually spat out a shell. Yeah, sure. I know you've been watching too many short dramas lately. You're really deep in character, huh? Get down here and finish this bowl of braised pork. I pointed at the greasy, glistening bowl on the table. The pieces of braised pork were soft and jiggly. This was the bowl I just brought out from the kitchen. The vibrant red color was eye-catching, melt-in-your-mouth goodness, with steam rising from it. Just looking at it made me drool. The blonde girl stood on the heated bed, looking like she'd rather die than yield. I won't eat this high-calorie junk food. How is this even worthy of being touched by this young lady? I don't like eating meals anyway. I want to drink a bottle of water. Where in this village would we find that high-end stuff? I turned my head to look at the heavy snow outside the window. The moment I turned back, my memory had refreshed. Seeing the girl still standing on the heated bed, I remembered you. With a look full of tough love, I dragged her down. This kid gets so excited seeing meat that she can't even walk anymore. Come here, let me feed you. How insolent a massive piece of fatty meat was shoved precisely into her mouth, shutting down her resistance right at her throat. Liu Miao Miao's eyes widened, her cheeks puffing out. She was about to vomit but suddenly froze. The moment she tasted the meat. So disgusting. Whenever I see this kind of meat, my stomach turns. Only Hicks would eat this greasy stuff. I got pissed and instinctively grabbed a broom. 3 seconds later, with tears in her eyes, she gulped down the meat. Her mouth said no, but her body was honest as she opened wide. Ah Ching Ching squatted at the door, holding a rice bowl, shoveling food, and muttering, "Hey bro." She says she's a high society young lady. Are you raising a pig here or what? Besides, she's been screaming at the village entrance earlier about having a super powerful older sister. When her family actually tracks us down, are they going to wipe out our entire nest? I turned back and glared at her. Mind your own business and eat. Also, since we have another mouth to feed now. You're Ha number 2, so let's call this girl Liu number 3. Liu Miao Miao, while stuffing her mouth with braised pork, protested in a muffled voice. I reject that name. It's deathly tacky. This is a total insult to my character. Ugh. I ignored her. turning back to the kitchen to scoop more soup. Liu Miao Miao quickly forced the rest of the meat down her throat. 5 minutes later, I returned. Looking at the empty bowl in front of her, I was horrified. Liu, number 3, why haven't you eaten a single bite? Is my cooking not good enough for you? Liu Miao Miao looked at her spotless, sparkling bowl, then looked at my sincere, caring eyes. She had a breakdown. I ate every single grain of rice. Look, this bowl is cleaner than my own face. I didn't believe her. I thought she was lying to cover up her picky eating. And so under Ha Qingqing's pitying gaze, I scooped another massive overflowing bowl for her. I wondered, eat up or it'll get cold. You're at the age where you need to eat to grow. Even if you're running away from home, you need a full stomach first. Be good. If you don't finish, you're not allowed to leave the table. That night, while shedding tears, Liu Miao Miao demolished that second bowl completely. After everyone was stuffed, I ordered the two of them to open their homework. My sister, knowing full well I only have a 7-second memory to protect herself, had already spread out her winter break homework. She even stuck a note on her brother's forehead. I'm doing math, don't ask. If you ask, I'm already doing it. But a newcomer like Liu Miao Miao didn't know the rules. She wore her expensive, but now rumpled little suit, sitting cross-legged on the warm heated bed, with a smug look on her face. I have 6 private tutors. These elementary addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division problems are nothing but an insult to my IQ. I was holding a fly swatter patrolling my territory. Hearing that, I stopped in front of her. Not doing your homework. If you don't do your homework, what do you plan to do? Go to the village entrance, dye your hair blonde, and be a loafer or some delinquent queen. I cried out in heartbreak. If you don't focus on studying at your age, how are you going to help build the new countryside later? Liu Miao Miao gave a soft laugh and pulled out from the backpack behind her a textbook entirely in English. Intentionally showing off, she said, I attend elite prep schools and receive a standard British education. What would a bumpkin like you know? I half-believingly flipped through her pile of test papers. Whoa, I wouldn't have known if I hadn't looked. 0, 0, they're all just zeros. I slammed the fly swatter hard against the edge of the bed, making it shake. She jumped in fright. My memory was wiped clean once again. I looked at the colorful book in her hand and shouted in anger, you're supposed to be doing mental math, but you dare to read comic books. Put that book away right now. Liu Miao Miao widened her eyes in disbelief. This is an English textbook from across the ocean. Look, this isn't a comic yet, you still dare to talk back. I slammed a workbook down in front of her. What's 1 plus 1? You don't even know basic knowledge like this. And you're trying to copy people by reading comics. Liu Miao Miao picked up the pen in total humiliation. To prove her IQ, she started brandishing the pen, writing rapidly. She finished an entire page of exercises fluently. 10 minutes later, I circled back and saw her just sitting there. What are you doing zoning out? If you don't say it, don't even dream of going to sleep. Liu Miao Miao took a deep breath, gritted her teeth, and answered, it's 2. 3 more minutes passed. I took a sip of water and came back, seeing her sitting there dazed. I slapped the back of her head and asked, hey you dare try to play me? At that moment, her mental fortress completely crumbled. Her eyes turned red, and big round tears began to stream down. At home, she was a little princess, an invisible person who was ignored, a burden in her sister's eyes that hadn't grown up yet. But she had never been forced by anyone to answer what's 1 plus 1. Pressured to the point where she looked like a total moron, she threw the pen down hard. She sobbed, it's 2. I've said it 100 times already. Are you a goldfish or what? It truly shocked me to the core. How did she know? My boss used to say a team needs a tiger to guard the mountain, a pack leader to show the way, and a swift leopard. And I was the lazy fish on the team. In this house, throughout the time I was studying for exams, we strictly enforced a military-style management. Under that intense pressure, even the dog had to learn advanced math. I skeptically grabbed the test paper, picked up a red pen, and prepared to grade it. Not only was everything correct, but for the final question, the kid even used 3 different ways to solve it. One of those methods used symbols that I couldn't even understand. My hands holding the paper trembled slightly. I glanced at the 7-year-old blonde kid, then looked at Ha Qingqing's miserable face. It's getting cold out. This blonde kid turns out to be a young genius. I pulled Liu number 3 into a hug and gave her a loud smooch on the cheek. Oh, my sweet little sister. The ancestors' graves must be glowing with luck. Finally, you've opened your mind. The blonde girl's entire face turned bright red. She scrubbed her face hard. You man, what do you think you're doing? That's so gross. While wiping, she arrogantly rolled her eyes. Usually those bad grades, or just me faking it for my sister to see. Actually, I'm super impressive, you know? I can get the answer with just 1 glance. Stop bragging. As if you can get the answer with just 1 glance. What are you, a so easy smart learning machine? Ha Qingqing leaned in, feeling a bit indignant. I turned and smacked her forehead. Look at number 3. She used to be all dazed and confused. But after I gave her a good scare, she's completely unlocked her potential. Ha Qingqing looked at the Greek symbols on the test paper. Bro, I'm totally lost. This looks like calculus integrals. I was elated, pulling a piece of chocolate out of my pocket. Ideally, I should stuff this in your mouth as a reward. From now on, you'll teach Ha Ching Ching the problems she doesn't know. I popped the chocolate into the girl's mouth. Liu Miao Miao's small face scrunched up tight. A moment later, a rich sweet flavor spread through her mouth. I was mentally prepared for her to resist, but instead I heard her mutter softly. This high-energy food, turns out it's not that bad. I burst out laughing. Bullying kids is actually pretty fun. Even though I tortured her until she was half dead, this blonde kid didn't run away. Not only did she stay, but her gaunt face even filled out a little. Late at night, when everyone was fast asleep, I got up to get a drink of water and saw the blonde kid sitting alone on the doorstep, staring blankly up at the moon. Nights in the countryside are freezing. That blonde hair looked even more like dry grass under the moonlight. She hugged her knees. That young lady, who usually acted so high and mighty, now looked like nothing more than an abandoned puppy. I walked over, and she only sniffled her nose, no longer bristling like she did during the day. Homesick. No, the girl said, still stubborn. No one in that house cares about me anyway. My sister is busy all day with corporate takeovers. In her eyes, I'm just thin air. I see. It turns out, this blonde kid skipped school just to see if her sister would get angry. As it turns out, even for the parent-teacher conference, she just sent her secretary instead. Got it. She's starved for affection and just wants attention. This right here is a classic case of rebellious child syndrome. I sighed and sat down next to her. I reached out and ruffled her messy blonde hair. Is this why you dyed your hair this neon yellow? It's ugly as hell. You look just like the golden retriever at the village entrance. She was about to argue, but I kept going. You want your sister to notice you right. Then you have to be better than her, or be more of a headache than her. This act you've got going on right now is just being a brat. But what? Without waiting for Liu Miao Miao's eyes to light up, I let out a long yawn, patted her shoulder, and said, in my hometown, whether you're a young lady or a drifter, as long as you've eaten my braised pork, you're my little sister. Early the next morning, I brought a basin of water and dragged her out of bed. Number 3, hurry up and get up. This neon yellow hair is such an eyesore. Let me wash it out and re-dye it for you. If this were yesterday, she definitely would have called the police on me. As the warm water poured over her head, I clumsily massaged the soap suds in. After washing and drying her hair, I had to admit one thing. Those elite high society jeans are top tier. Looking at her now, who would have thought she was the kid, sitting on the same level as the dog at the village entrance? The corners of the little blonde's mouth couldn't help but curl up slightly. But my memory really is absolute trash. 1 second. I'm scolding her for leaving leftovers. Whoever leaves food behind gets taken by the big bad wolf. The next second, I'm sympathetically patting her head. Oh my, whose kid is this looking so pitiful? I don't know why you're crying. But here, I still have a tea-marinated egg. I'm giving it to you secretly. Don't let your mean older brother see. That mean older brother is literally me. As the days went by, Liu Miao Miao found a new way to survive in this house. For example, right now, I'm spinning around the room in a total panic. Crap, I'm screwed. Where did I hide my secret stash of cash? I need to buy workbooks for number 2. Liu Miao Miao let out a mature sigh, stepped up onto a small stool, and pulled a stack of bills out of the pickle jar on top of the wardrobe. The money is right here. Also, about that workbook you mentioned yesterday, it was for me. I dazed out for a second, then immediately cheered up. I grabbed her head and gave her a big smooch. So smart. Truly my good little sister. Take this money and buy some candy for yourself. Just don't give any to that heartless Ha Ching Ching. Liu Miao Miao's small face flushed bright red. She immediately turned her face away. Awkwardly, she shoved the money back into my hand. I don't eat candy, it's bad for my teeth. The roasted sweet potatoes you made yesterday smelled pretty good though. Just buy me that roasted sweet potato and we're good. That night, thunder crashed and a storm raged. I got up to get some water and saw Liu Miao Miao huddling, shaking like a leaf in the corner of the sofa. She suffered from severe claustrophobia and had a traumatic reaction to thunder. I walked over dizzily, just like how I used to comfort my sister when she was little. I pulled her right into my arms, wrapping us both in a thick blanket. Don't be scared, don't be scared. Big bro is here. Then I gently patted her back and told her the god of thunder doesn't eat children. If he eats anyone, he'll eat old man Wang next door. Liu Miao Miao's stiff body gradually relaxed. She used to stay in a luxurious high society mansion, spending countless long nights in fear all by herself. But this was the first time. She fell fast asleep while listening to this nonsense nursery rhyme, waking up the next morning. She gripped my shirt tightly and wouldn't let go. Time flew, and it was already New Year's Eve. We were huddling around the stove making dumplings. The atmosphere was amazing. The Spring Festival Gala was playing on the TV. Liu Miao Miao's face was covered in flour. She was clumsily trying to shape a dumpling into a gold ingot. After more than 10 days of living together, she had fully embraced the role of a younger sister, wearing Ha Ching Ching's old gray cotton jacket. Except for her face, which was still unnaturally exquisite, she looked no different from a kid, raised in the countryside. Whenever Ha Ching Ching wasn't home, she would proactively go pour water for me, and even go pick up my packages. She was even more skilled at it than the delivery guys. Just as I was about to praise how her dumpling looked like a hand grenade and was very creative, suddenly a series of colorful commentary lines scrolled past my eyes. They appeared in dense clusters and filled the happy atmosphere. Someone save me. I just saw flour on the face of the high society. Young lady. The young lady doesn't just know how to peel garlic, but she even learned how to wrap dumplings too. The results of this reformation program are top tier, huh? This village guy is seriously strong. He fed the young lady until she's totally dazed. Then someone else teased. Looks like the villainess has gained a whole size. She's fair and plump just like a little piglet. The villainess's older sister probably won't even recognize her. Hey, floor above. The most important thing right now is finding the leaks and vermicelli. I rubbed my eyes hard. I thought the hard exam prep was causing hallucinations, but I shook my head, and those commentary lines were still there. Look quickly, that brute is spacing out again. He's definitely about to refresh his memory. Bet a spicy snack on it. In 3 seconds, he'll ask the young lady why she isn't wrapping dumplings. 3, 2, 1. I gave her a look. Looking at the object in front of Liu Miao Miao, which was originally shaped like a hand grenade. I remembered you. It's New Year's and you're sitting here playing with mud. Are the dumplings finished yet? You only know how to eat, but don't know how to work. Tonight you go out and sleep with Big Yellow. The dough in Liu Miao Miao's hand fell with a thud. She suddenly looked up, her eyes filled with a grievance as if they were about to overflow. You literally just praised me, saying I shaped this like a work of art. You even told me I was our family's dumpling wrapping genius, ha 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 ha. Perfect prediction. Feel bad for the young lady for 3 seconds. I guiltily rubbed my nose. Did I really just praise her a moment ago? Let me calculate the timing. Yep, that was exactly 7 seconds ago, right at this moment. The roar of a helicopter echoed outside, making the window stickers vibrate violently. The village dogs started barking. Even our Big Yellow barked the loudest. Oh crap, we're cooked. The villainous sister brought a convoy and helicopters straight into the village. But if she sees this scene, will she think she walked onto the wrong movie set? The big villainess is famous for being a sister con. Will she turn this brute's entire family into dumpling filling? Liu Miao Miao's expression shifted. Before she could even wipe the flour off her hands, she scrambled to hide under the table. Her sister arrived in a jet black Cullinan, parking right in front of my door. In this middle of nowhere village, it looked like an alien spaceship. The car door opened and a woman stepped out, wearing a black trench coat and gold-rimmed glasses, looking 60% like Liu Miao Miao, but her entire body radiated a cold, I'm very expensive aura. The woman walked into the yard when her eyes met the figure, squatting on the ground, shoveling food toward her, which was Liu Miao Miao. She clearly paused. Liu Miao Miao? Liu Miao Miao was as terrified as a quail, hiding behind my back. Sis, it's me, I just got a little fat, that's all. But very quickly after she straightened her back, I have a big brother now. He treats me incredibly well. I'm not afraid of you anymore, bro. Say something. Her gaze dropped down, seeing Liu Ruyan arriving empty-handed. She was stunned. Sis, I told you on the way back to grab a mix-you milk tea for my brother. Where is it? Don't tell me you forgot the milk tea, and you even forgot to pick up the packages too. The woman gave a soft, cold sneer and strode closer. A 3-day hunger strike. Running away from home just to become a village girl. Seems like you've got some backbone after all. For breakfast, I hired a private nutritionist to make the most scientific meals for you. Low fat, low salt, low sugar. Rotating purple cabbage, carrot, and spirulina juice. What exactly are you still dissatisfied with? Her gaze turned toward me, filled with a haughty, superior look. So you're the one who kidnapped my sister? Speak. How much money will it take for you to release her? I stared intensely at her, before I could even open my mouth. The chat exploded. Save us, the little blonde sister is here. MC, run for your life. This is a law-abiding society, you know. Am I the only one who thinks the way the kid looks at that brute is a bit off? Is that really the look you give a kidnapper? That's clearly the look you give a life-saving benefactor. Wait, I remember you. Just as Liu Ruyan was about to order her men to seize Liu Miao Miao, I slapped my thigh. Oh, aren't you that lady from before? Liu Ruyan paused. She took off her glasses, her voice slightly cold. Do you recognize me? I immediately grabbed her hand and spoke with great passion. Liu number 4, you're finally home. Look at your sister, because you've been gone so long. She's learned how to lie. She keeps insisting her name is Liu Miao Miao, and even claims you're some high society young lady. I am Liu Miao Miao, she sobbed, trying to speak. This kid, just to get out of doing homework, has gone completely delusional. You should take her to the hospital for a checkup, and while you're at it, finish peeling that pile of peanuts on the floor. Go on, Liu Miao Miao cried. Bro, please just shut up for a second. She really is my sister, I forced Liu Ruyan to sit down on the small stool, scooping her a bowl of freshly cooked noodles. Since you're already here, finish this bowl of noodles before you go. Liu Ruyan looked at the greasy bowl of braised pork in front of her, then looked at the bowl of noodles. Her eyebrows furrowed deeply. I don't eat this kind of stuff. She had a very serious stomach condition, combined with the fact that she constantly worked high-intensity hours, making her extremely picky about food. She was basically another anorexia patient. Seeing her not touch her chopsticks, my memory reset right on cue. My expression darkened. The politeness from moments ago vanished completely. I slammed my hand down. What the hell are you staring at? Looking down on my cooking just because you're Liu Ruyan's sister, you think you're special? Hardly. A disobedient sister is the result of a sister who can't teach. Eat. If you don't finish, don't even think about leaving this house. Did you hear me? Ching Ching, who was nearby, was frantically stuffing dumplings into her mouth. She called out in a muffled voice, Miss, hurry up and eat. Liu Ruyan took a deep breath, as if trying to maintain a shred of dignity. Finally, she took a bite of noodles and put them in her mouth. She intended to chew once and spit it right out, while showing off her superior authority. However, 3 seconds later, I swung a slap. Right at the back of her head. What are you zoning out for? Why is the bowl still completely full, planning to sneakily spit it out right? Swallow it for me. Liu Ruyan's eyes nearly popped out. Her gold-rimmed glasses glasses almost content. In 35 years of life, this was the first time she had been slapped on the back of the head by someone. The shock was even greater than her urge to vomit. Instinctively, her throat let out a gulp. She swallowed it all. Liu Ruyan covered her mouth with a tissue, her voice as cold as a frozen cellar. Sir, I think you've misunderstood. I have a severe stomach condition. This kind of oily and salty food? Sis, I beg you please just shut up. Liu Miao Miao let out a desperate scream, grabbing and holding her sister's hand tightly. Survival instincts were already etched into her marrow. While frantically stuffing dumplings into her own mouth, she lowered her voice and spoke rapidly into her sister's ear. Eat, hurry up, and swallow. Big Bro's slap has dark magic. As long as you eat fast enough, the stomach pain won't be able to catch up to you. Ruyan hadn't even had time to react before I strode right up in front of her. What are you whispering about? Planning to leave leftovers, right? What are you dazing out for? The bowl is still completely full. Liu. Number 3. You too. Why are you looking at your sister? You have to set an example. At this moment, the live comments had completely exploded. Holy crap, this guy is a true master of discipline. Everyone looked at Liu Ruyan's eyes. From shock, they turned to confusion. And finally, only pure survival instinct remained. Is this the legendary beast tamer from the stories? No matter if you're a high society young lady or not, in front of our brute MC, you're all just little piglets waiting to be fed. Before this man, Liu Ruyan's throat moved subconsciously. The food just slid right down her throat. The urge to gag never came. Instead, a rustic wood-fired aroma, rich and fragrant, instantly took over her taste buds. It was an intense collision of worldly flavors. 5 minutes later, the scene became incredibly bizarre. Steam was rising everywhere. The fire under the heated bed blazed brightly, and colorful fireworks lit up the sky outside. I was in a great mood, so I couldn't help but hit the kitchen to whip up a few more signature dishes. The aroma of those rustic, home-cooked meals provocatively awakened their appetites. That night, the two Liu sisters squatted on the old heated bed in my house, each clutching a massive bowl, eating until they were drenched in sweat. Sis, do you feel like your soul has been uplifted? Liu Miao Miao asked softly. Liu Ruyan nodded in silence. Turns out life here isn't bad at all. On that snowy day, ever since the Liu sisters left, Liu Ruyan was no longer just the elite young lady who only knew how to bury herself in work. She had learned how to light a honeycomb coal stove, knew how to groom Big Yellow the dog, and even got used to checking my expression before eating, fearing that a slow move would earn her a slap. Liu Miao Miao's face had visibly rounded out too. She had integrated with the mischievous kids in the village. The only regret was that she still hadn't learned how to climb trees. When it was time to go, Liu Miao Miao clung to the doorframe, refusing to let go. She cried until her face was a mess of tears and snot. Liu Ruyan maintained her polite composure. She stood by the car and gave me a long, deep look. Ha-Chiang, thank you. If it wasn't for you, I would have never noticed my younger sister's psychological issues and just thought she was simply going through a rebellious phase. As her family, I've neglected her for far too long. She handed me a business card and solemnly instructed, if you run into any trouble you can't handle, call this number. I took the card and casually tucked it into the stack of papers in my thick law exam prep book. I waved my hand dismissively. All right, number 4, hurry up and go. Go home and focus on your work. Stop thinking about mooching off people's food all day. The corner of Liu Ruyan's mouth twitched. She seemed like she wanted to correct that nickname, but in the end, she could only give a helpless, bitter smile. and turned to get into the car. The car slowly rolled away. Ha Ching Ching stood beside me inside. Bro, the house suddenly feels so empty. I scratched my head looking at the quiet yard. My memories were starting to fade. Who left in our house? Hasn't it always been just the two of us? Ha Ching Ching looked at me with a complicated gaze. Ultimately, she didn't say anything else, just silently walked inside to clear the 2 extra sets of bowls and chopsticks on the table. Life returned to its original quiet state until Jia Kiki showed up at the village entrance with her new boyfriend. That BMW, amidst this dusty, dirt-covered village, looked so out of place. Jia Kiki still maintained that arrogant and haughty attitude. Oh, isn't this the great talent of the Ha family? The guy rolled down the car window, his gaze cutting through me like a dagger. Heard you're still studying for exams this year. Man, why haven't you passed yet? I was sitting in front of the door transcribing legal codes. My head was full of specialized knowledge. Suddenly being interrupted by someone, I looked at him blankly. That feeling of instinctive disgust arrived even faster than the memories deep in my mind. Suddenly, fragmented pieces of memory flashed by. The noisy corridor of the provincial hospital. The doctor stood quietly beside me holding a brain scan. His voice heavy. Trauma from a heavy impact led to memory loss. Temporarily, in an unconscious effort to protect himself, the patient has chosen to forget the people and things that caused him pain. If it's convenient, you should take him back to rest for a while. My brother isn't stupid at all. He was an elite student who won scholarships. It's just that he's in too much pain. The scene shifts to an office building. Late at night. The thesis and proposal I stayed up 3 nights to write actually had the name Ha Kiki on them. She used my research findings to apply for her master's and PhD, then ran off with another man and told me, Ha Jun, you're too rigid. You're not cut out for this industry. Let's break up. Don't drag me down. My head suddenly throbbed violently. I clutched my head tightly. The book in my hand fell to the ground. Jia Keke saw me silent, thinking that I was scared. She laughed even more arrogantly. Why aren't you saying anything, dazed figures? Back in school, you were just a nerd who only knew how to rote learn. Heard that after I dumped you. Your mind wasn't quite right anymore. How pathetic. The delicate-looking man beside her spoke up. Babe, is this your ex-boyfriend? He looks like some country bumpkin stoking a fire. No wonder you broke up with him. My boyfriend now works for the Liu Group. He's a partner lawyer in the legal department. His annual salary is a figure that you won't earn in a lifetime. Look at you now, how miserable you've become. If it wasn't for you insisting on breaking up with him back then both I and he wouldn't be where we are today. Her tone was full of gloating over someone else's pain. You people, I opened my mouth to fire back, but my throat felt like it was being choked. The grievances and rage I was once forced to forget suddenly surged violently at this very moment. But because my memories were a chaotic mess, I couldn't put them into words. Please leave my house. Hearing this, Jia Keke not only didn't back down, but even took an aggressive step forward and grabbed my arm tightly. I'm not leaving. What are you going to do about it? I pressed my hand hard against my chest, only able to glare at her, my entire body trembling. The comments on the screen were also getting anxious. Unbelievable. How does this kind of person keep living and rising like a kite in the wind? I really want to reach through the internet and punch her. Just once. A black car quietly pulled up behind the BMW. The door opened and Liu Ruyan stepped out. She had changed back into her luxurious coat, but her hand was leading a dejected-looking child. Liu Ruyan walked straight up to me, blocking her line of sight. Move aside, her voice wasn't loud, but it radiated pure authority. Jia Keke was stunned, about to start cursing. Who do you think you are telling me to move? What kind of trash are you? I was about to say, a good dog doesn't block the path. Driving a luxury car and thinking you're all that? Is the land in this village owned by your family or something? But the very second, she saw Liu Ruyan's face clearly. Her whole body froze as if struck by lightning. She had seen this face from afar. At the Liu Group's year-end party. CEO Liu, Jia Keke's voice cracked. The man scrambled out of the car, bowing 90 degrees. His face full of sycophancy. CEO Liu, what a coincidence. I'm from Jincheng, Jia Keke from the law firm. We're the ones in charge of the outsourced legal work for your group, Liu. Ruyan stopped in her tracks, slanted her head slightly, her cold gaze sweeping over Jia Keke. Her voice unusually calm. Jincheng law firm. Jia Keke nodded frantically. Yes, yes, yes! That's me. Liu Ruyan cut her off, pulled out her phone, made a call, and put it on speaker. Hello? Legal department. Terminate the partnership with Jincheng Law Firm, from the other. And a respectful voice rang out. Yes, CEO Liu. Is there an issue? Liu Ruyan said indifferently. Their character is subpar. They don't even have basic professional ethics or the minimum boundaries of being human. I'm not comfortable working with them. Jia Keke's face turned ash gray as she collapsed to the ground, unable to even stand up anymore. Before I could recover from the recent shock, I heard a voice screaming with full power, Big brother, I've been home crying all day long. She finally brought me back to see you. I missed your cooking so much. Liu Ruyan and Liu Miao Miao eventually had to leave. After all, the Liu group couldn't function without its CEO, just like the West couldn't be without Jerusalem. As she left, Liu Miao Miao cried tragically, clinging to my golden dog and refusing to let go. Then the bodyguards picked her up like pulling a radish and tossed her into the car. Liu Ruyan, on the other hand, appeared very restrained. She gave me one long deep look, leaving behind a business card and a single sentence. If anyone bullies you in the future, call this number, or have Ha Ching Ching call it. Life resumed its original peaceful state. I continued memorizing my legal codes. Learning then forgetting. Forgetting then learning again. I was no different from a fish blowing bubbles in the middle of the ocean until 1 month later. A phone call suddenly came through. Ha Ching Ching barged into my room, looking frantic. Bro, something huge happened. Meow meow, she's in bad shape. I looked up blankly. Who? Meow meow, you're number 3. It's that blonde kid Liu Meow Meow. She's on a hunger strike again. And it's even more serious this time. The doctor says she has anorexia nervosa. Unless she can taste mother's cooking, she has absolutely no will to live. I thought for a moment, then slapped my thigh. Then tell her mom to cook. Ah Ching Ching was speechless. Her mom died a long time ago. The Liu sisters are orphans. That taste she's talking about is your braised pork and those slaps of yours. That night, a familiar car parked in front of my door once more. Liu Ruyan carried Liu Miao Miao, who looked like a small kitten, out of the car. Not seeing her for a month, Liu Miao Miao had wasted away. Those eyes only managed to light up slightly when they saw the smoke from my kitchen. Big bro, Liu Miao Miao called out weakly, looking at these 2 sisters who looked like refugees. 3 seconds later, I exploded. You 2 again. Last time you came to beg for food, now you're here to mooch. Look at how starving this kid is. Are you her evil stepmother or something? I snatched Liu Miao Miao from her arms, plopped her on the bed, and told them to wait. Let me go cook for you 2. That night, the Liu sisters once again felt the terror of being dominated. Liu Miao Miao cried while stuffing a huge shrimp into her mouth. Probably because she hadn't eaten in so long, she ate too fast and felt like throwing up. I raised my hand instinctively, but before I could even swing, Liu Miao Miao flinched violently and desperately forced herself to swallow it back down. Then she let out a loud burp. So delicious. Kids should eat kid food. As long as you don't make me eat Sis's nutritious meals, I'll eat anything. Liu Ruyan felt a bit helpless. Is my cooking really that bad? Well, though she said that, Liu Ruyan still sat down to one side watching the girl eat ravenously. The nerves that had been strained for a whole month finally began to relax. She picked up her chopsticks, grabbing a piece of sweet and sour fish. It was a fresh fish I had bought early that morning. The meat was fresh, sweet, and tender, coated in a glossy, eye-catching glaze. Tantalizing aromas wafted out from the scores cut into the fish's body, under the sauce before being plated, topped with a layer of shredded green onions. One bite was enough to feel it melt in your mouth, and the moment that fish slid down her throat, even someone who didn't like sweets like her couldn't resist this deliciousness. That autumn, the judicial exam results were finally out. Ha Ching Ching grabbed her laptop and rushed into the yard. Bro, you passed. You passed? At that moment, I was peeling garlic for Liu Miao Miao. I dazed out for a second. Passed what? Did Big Yellow have puppies? The judicial exam, your certification. The moment I got accepted, the whole village erupted. Liu Ruyan was standing right by me, looking at the numbers displayed on the screen, a slight smile playing on her lips. She turned around to make a phone call. The very next day, in the district, an office for the Liu group suddenly appeared. The Agricultural Support Office. The reason given was perfectly grand. To better develop local, clean agricultural products. A long-term permanent headquarters must be established. Liu Ruyan personally took the position of permanent representative. In her spare time, she often came to visit me, traveling back and forth between the district and the village every day. As the sunset glow began to fade in the evening, Liu Miao Miao would squat on the ground, teasing Big Yellow the dog. Liu Ruyan sat on a small stool, helping me peel garlic. Sis, Liu Miao Miao suddenly asked seriously in a whisper. His memory, what if it stays like this for the rest of his life? The doctor said this is his heart's trauma. Maybe he'll be cured tomorrow, or he might never recover at all. He even frequently forgets who you are, sis. Don't you feel sad? Liu Ruyan's hands didn't stop moving. She looked up at the person holding that book, whose mouth was still mumbling as he studied. The man who could never seem to remember his lines. The sunset glow fell upon him. It was a warm tone that brought peace to one's heart. If he forgets, then let him forget. Liu Ruyan's voice was very soft, yet incredibly firm. If he forgets to eat, then we'll cook for him. If he forgets the way home, then we'll go pick him up. If he forgets who we are... She smiled and neatly placed the garlic in the bowl. Then we'll introduce ourselves a few more times. After all this, life is still very long. We have plenty of time to get to know each other again. Alright, stop that sniveling over there. I suddenly turned my head, holding the book rolled up like a tube, pointing at the two of them. What are you whispering about, hey ha number 2? Liu number 3, is your homework done yet? And there's that number 4 girl too, right? See, I remembered a long time ago. If you want to eat braised pork, go wash the vegetables. None of you know how to do anything on your own, hurry up and get over here.